Yeah. Yeah, good evening all. So myself, I'm Vijay. Like I hold 17 plus years of experience, which includes nearly 8 plus years of experience in Python environment. So my experience includes design, development, and implementation of Python and Django based applications. Well versed in implementing different Python libraries like NumPy, CP, Pandas, PyTables, Matplotlib, right? So before I start, right, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes.
Yes, it is.
Fine, thank you. So for your general queries, I'll be giving time at the end of the session. So just I'll be going with the following things, right? As part of today's demo, just I'll be covering the following topics. Why Python? Why Python, right? Already we have got many programming languages. Why again Python required? Means Python is not a kind of technology which is very recently introduced. It was introduced almost 30 years ago, right? In the year 1989, Python was introduced. Why all of a sudden Python has got a great boom? Reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? And who can learn Python? What are the prerequisites for learning Python, right? There is no prerequisites for learning Python. Anybody can update Python. Means Python statements look like normal English statements. They're not as complex as other programmings, right? So I'll just brief you by taking some examples, some example codes, comparing this Python code with other language codes. You can just observe how simple the statements of Python, right? And you need to know like how Python was built by taking the features from different programming languages, right? How Python was built. What kind of applications we are developing today by using Python? Python real-time applications, right? Python real-time applications. Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications, and who are using Python today? Which companies are using Python today, right? Yes, Python usage. Right. And what are the special features we see in Python, which we won't see in other programming languages, right? Python features. Python comparison with other programmings, right? Yes. Python coding wise, length wise, complexity wise, you can check how the Python statements looks as compared with other programming. Comparison with other programming, right? Yes. And almost like more than 32 years back, Python was introduced. But why all of a sudden Python has got a great boom? Means if you go back like 10 years ago, most of them doesn't know that there was a programming language like Python. Reasons which makes Python, reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? It's the #1 ranked programming language today, which is widely used for implementing different domains of different high-end technologies, right? Reasons, right, which makes Python suddenly super popular. And you need to know what is the current job market of Python and what is the scope of Python in the coming years, right? Python scope and job market, right? Scope and job market. Okay, so these things I'll be discussing that in today's and tomorrow's session. So I'll be briefing you about all these things in, right? So starting with why Python, right? Yes. Why Python? And I define Python in 5 lines. Python, right, is a general purpose programming. Python is a general purpose programming. It's a general purpose programming means if you heard before Python, there were some programming languages. If you heard about these programming languages like Pascal, Fortran, COBOL, right? These programming languages, right? They are used for a specific purpose. Purpose-based languages. These are purpose-based languages used for a specific purpose. If you talk about Pascal and Fortran, one is used for scientific application, one is used for complicated mathematical application, COBOL used for business application, means for a specific purpose, purpose-based languages we say, right? But a language which is suitable for developing any kind of application, such a language we call it as a general purpose programming language. So Python is a general purpose programming language where any kind of application can be developed using Python, like web applications, automation applications, gaming applications, graphical applications, embedded applications, networking applications, desktop applications, right? In this way, wide varieties of applications you can develop using Python, right? It's a general purpose programming. Any kind, it's not for a particular purpose, not for a purpose-based language. And multi-programming features we see in Python, right? Multi-programming features. Right? For example, if I give a labor example, if you want to launch a new product in the market, for example, you want to launch a new mobile phone into the market, right? To attract the customers, what features you want to see? Like what all the features we see in different other mobiles, everything, if you are embedding into a single piece, going to attract the customers, right? In the same way, Python is a kind of programming. Python is a kind of programming where we see the features of different other programming languages within it. What all the features we see in different other programmings, all those we are seeing in Python. Procedural oriented, object oriented, scripting, modular programming, all the features we see in Python. I'll be briefing you about all this, and as part of our course we'll be discussing all those, right? Procedural oriented with Python, object oriented with Python, scripting and modular programming with Python, right? And Python is a high level language. Python is a high level language, right? It's a high level language. So there mainly, if I can say, there are two types of language. Two types of languages. Yes. Low level languages, right? Low level languages. Example of low level languages, right? Yes. Assembly level language or machine level language, right? Assembly level or machine level, and high level languages. See, these low level languages, right? They are, first thing, they are not understandable. First thing, they are not human understandable. Not human understandable, right? Yes. And secondly, they are not portable. Low level languages or assembly level, right? These are not portable. And machine dependent, they cannot run on all the hardware and all the operating system, right? Machine dependent. They cannot run on all the OS and all the operating system. High level language, like example, Python. Python is a high level language. It's human understandable. The statements look like normal English statements. They are portable and machine independent. Can run on all the hardware and all the operating system. We say Python as a cross-platform language where it can run on any platform like Windows, Linux, and Mac OS, right? Like if you talk about if you are using Python in Linux environment, no need of any installation also, right? Directly you can work with Python, right? Python comes as an inbuilt within this Linux, right? Like Red Hat Linux, CentOS or Ubuntu, right? Yes. All right, yes. See, not a worry, you will be getting the recorded video of these sessions, right? Yes, not a worry. We'll be providing the recordings of this. Yes. So yes, it's a human understandable, portable, and machine independent. Can run on all the hardware and all the operating systems, right? Fine. High level language and interpretation language. Interpretation language. Interpreted. Interpreted means, if we talk, there are two types of languages I can say, right? Yes. See, compilation languages and interpretation languages. Compilation and interpretation. Python is a interpretation language. Okay, compilation means, for example, you got some 10 lines of code. You got some 10 lines of code, right? All these statements executes at once and displays the errors. If you got any errors, it displays the errors, 4 errors or 5 errors, right? But in the case of Python, if you got some 10 lines of code, right? Statement by statement execution, which makes debugging easy, right? Statement by statement. If you get error in this line, it won't execute the remaining statements. Abnormal termination, right? Yes. So it's a statement by statement interpretation, line by line execution. It won't execute the entire program at once, right? So even it makes debugging easy, right? Interpreted language and user friendly programming or programmer friendly programming language. User friendly programming, which provides simple syntaxes which looks like normal English statements, right? So in the tomorrow session, I'll be just briefing you about this, that Python snippets, right? How these codings of Python looks as compared, even complex tasks you can perform with a simple statements, right? Right. So it's a general purpose programming, which is any kind of applications we can develop. Multi-programming features like human understandable, like, and portable, can run on all the hardware and all the operating systems. This machine independent, high level language, right? Interpretation language and multi-programming. Because of this multi-programming features, we call Python as a hybrid language. So because of these hybrid features, today Python is mostly used or mostly chosen programming language, right? For implementing different domains. If you talk data science implementation with Python, big data like Spark with Python, PySpark we say, and we're writing many automation scripts in IoT, in robotics, in DevOps, AWS, writing many automation scripts, right? Where Python has got vast libraries, right? Inbuilt properties, modules we got, interpreted, right? Line by line execution, user friendly programming, right? So you need to know something, right? How Python was built means it has taken some advantages from one programming, some other advantages from other programming. In this way, from multiple programming languages, it has taken the advantages and combined, right? So because of which we call Python as a hybrid language. From which programming languages Python has taken the features from? Python has procedural oriented programming features, procedural oriented programming, right? Features, example like C language. So once again, I'm saying it doesn't mean that you need to have the knowledge about these programmings. As part of the course, we'll be discussing all this, right? Procedural oriented, object oriented, object oriented programming, example like C++, right? C++ and even like Java is object oriented. So these Java programmers or developers are strictly restricted to use only object oriented programming, right? Without object oriented programming, we cannot write a Java application, right? But Python with object oriented, without object oriented, with the procedural oriented, with scripting, with modular programming, many different types of applications we can develop. Scripting, right? Scripting language. Example of scripting like shell script, right? Yes. Linux shell script, like it looks complex, right? To understand the shell scripting, but Python scripts look simple and easier to understand, right? So, and the Python has got a great boom today's market, right? Because of this modular programming. Modular programming provides nearly many modules, thousands of modules Python is providing. See, like Modula 3, right? It's a language. Here, Python providing 89,300 inbuilt modules. 89,300 inbuilt modules Python provides for the various domains, right? For various environments. Whatever domain you are from, right? For networking, it's providing some separate modules for testing, for data science, for big data, for databases, but whatever domain, whatever environment you are from, right? Python has got modules and scripting, right? Like many writing many automation scripts. So this Python is preferred, right? For example, right, if I talk on these modules, Python has got a great boom today because of these modular programming modules, which you won't see in other programmings. Like for example, for data science, Python is providing separate modules for data science, like 10 to 15 modules Python provides for data science environment. NumPy, CP, Pandas, PyTables, Matplotlib, all this, right? CP, Scikit-learn. Separate modules Python has got, right, for this data science. Not only like data science, for big data environment, Python has got separate modules using which we can perform these operations. Right. Apart from this, for networking environment, not only modules, separate framework itself, Python is providing for networking side, right? Network programming of network applications. We said Python, right? Separate modules and for testing or for test cases, right? Python providing separate modules, right? And even for operating system OS kinds of activities, right? The name of the module itself is OS for performing various OS related activities. For every database, Python provides a module. Means for Oracle, right, Python provides a separate module. CX_Oracle is the module. And for every database, right, for MySQL, PyMySQL or MySQL connector, right, you have got separate modules. It's very simple, Python connecting with the database without opening the database, right? Just by giving that connecting details, username, passwords, just I can create tables in your database. I can insert data, I can remove data, I can perform all these operations by writing Python statements. I'll write a Python code, 3-4 lines of Python code, execute, go and check. The data gets removed from your database table. If I want to insert a data, if I want to create table by writing Python statements, can perform it, right? Apart from it, right? For SQL server also, right? PyODBC is the model where Python. And for any types of file formats, any types of files, generally we take data from the files. For Excel files, Excel creating Excel workbook. For creating Excel workbook or Excel file, just by writing 4 to 5 lines of Python code, execute it, right? With whatever name you are specified, at whatever location, right? The workbook gets created, Excel file gets created. By writing Python statements only, I can create Excel sheets within the Excel file. I can create multiple sheets. I can insert the data by writing Python statements, right? I can read data from Excel. I can write data to Excel, right? All these operations you can perform. Not only Excel, for writing Python code for creating PDF files, for CSV files, comma separated values, for JSON files. The name of the module itself is JSON. For CSV module is a for any XML, for all this, right? For all these file formats. Apart from this, for mathematical operations, math module, for statistics, separate module Python providing, right? Statistics, for generating graphs in Python. Any type of graph, normal graph, bar graph, histogram, scatter plot, stack plot, right? Pie graph, any types of graphs, right? And the tomorrow session, I'll brief you, right? How simple generating graphs in Python, just by writing very less code, can generate graphs using Python, right? And before you update with any technology, you need to know what kind of applications are getting developed, right? Today, Python mostly used for developing what kind of applications? Python real-time applications, right? So today, like Python mostly used in creation of web application. Immediately, you may ask, right? Python, sorry, Java and .NET, if you talk about these two, right? From last 20 years or 22 years, right? Like they're mostly used in creation of web application. Why again Python required? I means Python is providing some frameworks like Django framework, Flask framework, Pyramid framework, Bottle framework, Turbo Gear, right? Many frameworks. Among all these, Django framework is the most famous framework. At a rapid speed, you can develop a web application, right? With very less coding, already you will be having the code, right? Already it creates .py files, inbuilt files will be there, .py files. We don't need to write huge codings. Just we need to modify it accordingly as per our business logics, right? It has got its own database also, right? SQLite 3. It has got its own application server, right? So yes, at a rapid speed, you can develop application with very less coding. People, programmers or developers are attracted towards this. They're migrating towards this Python and Django. And mainly today, like Python, mostly used in automation applications. If you talk about this data science, machine learning, deep learning, right? We never see Java used as an implementation language. Python is the mostly chosen language for this, implementing this data science. Or even if you talk about this writing automation skills within this IoT and within this DevOps environment, right? Yes. So if we talk about this IoT automation applications, right? Today everything through online, right? IoT means Internet of Things, everything through internet, everything through online, online banking, online shopping, online exams, online healthcare, online communication, audio, video chatting, right? So it's a IoT, right? The physical network or device embedded with software, sensors, and electronics, right? To collect data, to exchanging the data, collecting the data, and controlling the things from the place where we are, right? So here, total 90% of the coding, 90% of this coding, right? In Python or Arduino. If you come to this data science, right? Everything deals with the data. Data has got experience. Yes. Venu Priyanka, right? Yes. I'll come back to this right at the end of the session. I'll be briefing about how the training levels goes. What are the things I'll be discussing, right? Right. So data science, right? So deals with data has got experience, feature reference using data science. We perform data analysis, predictions, classifications, clusterings, recommendations. It's a blend of techniques. The main technique what we see here is ML, machine learning, right? So for machine learning, we have got many techniques. Machine learning techniques are there, right? Regression, classification, clustering, recommendations, pattern matchings. For all these techniques to implement, we require a language. To code this, right? We require a language, right? So Python is the mostly chosen or mostly used programming for this data science, MLDL, right? Machine learning, deep learning for all this, right? Apart from this, one more major sector where Python is used today, right? In big data environment, right? Just I'll take a minute where exactly Python used within this big data environment. Today, like if you see the data generations, data storage units like KBs of data, MBs of data, GBs, gigabytes, terabytes, petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, yottabytes, ottabytes, so on, right? So you should have seen this KBs, MBs, GBs, or even TBs of data you should have seen, right? But petabytes or exabytes of data, is it getting generated in the current real world means? Yes. 1 petabyte equal to 1024 TBs. Examples of petabytes of data generation means like social media like Facebook, millions and trillions of users for Facebook. In a minute, how many posts and videos are getting circulated, right? Each and everything has to be stored, right? What is the data generated by Facebook in a minute? Not only Facebook today, if we talk about any application, right, generating huge data. If I talk about any application generating huge data, right? For example, 1 minute transaction. What is the data generated by Facebook in a minute? Not in KBs or MBs, right? Petabytes of data. Talk about Twitter tweets keeps on generating. Or if we talk about Google queries, everyone, you are querying in the Google, right? Yes, Google queries, what is the data generated by it? Everyone creating your own videos and uploading in the YouTube, right? What should be the storage capacity to store all these videos? Millions and trillions of users using email messages, right? What should be the storage capacity to store all these messages, right? Bank transactions, right? millions and trillions of users, lakhs of branches. So, okay, fine. Even like telecom transactions, huge or if we talk about e-commerce sites like Amazon, Flipkart, all this, right? They're generating huge data, right? Yes. For huge data means in petabytes, right? Petabytes. For that, we have got some big data tools, right? Like Hadoop, if you heard about like Hadoop and Spark, especially like Spark, very high speed processing technology, right? Huge data in quick time it is going to process for this Hadoop and Spark. We have got languages like Scala, Python, right? So Python mostly chosen, like Spark with Python, like PySpark we say. So even in big data environment, Python is used, right? Apart from this, I'll list out one by one the various other applications where Python is preferred in scientific applications, right? In scientific applications, like we have got CP, right? CP nothing but scientific Python, and even for numerical analysis, right? Numerical analysis, NumPy. NumPy is nothing but NumPy, numerical Python, even for graphical user interface or for animation applications, right? Python like TK intermodule, PyQt is available. For mostly Python used today in game development, right? Lot of games are getting developed today by using Python. Single user, multi-user online games separately for developing games. Python has given a framework like Pygame, a framework given by Python for developing games, and one more framework like Pykara that is also used for developing games. And for 3D games, for 3D, we have got some 3D rendering library like PySoy. Apart from this, Python is also used for scheduling tasks. We have got Airflow for it, and for testing our test cases, right? Yes. Apart from this, Python is used for software development. Most of software developers making use Python for support as a support language. For business applications, right? For business applications, Python is one of the best choice in developing e-commerce sites, and one of the hottest application of Python, database applications. Without database, there is no web application, right? Yes. Python can connect with any database easier, right? And even for network applications, right? Yes. Network programming of a network application, separate framework Python is providing, right? Twisted Python, right? And apart from this, today Python mostly used even for web scraping data from different sites. We have got modules like URL, BS4, right? And even for audio and video applications. As part of the course, I'll be showing you some audio and video related applications also, right? Right, video applications. Like we have got some famous applications like Tim Player, CPlay, video applications developed using Python. Apart from this, embedded applications, right? Right. The most famous embedded application, Raspberry Pi, right? Which uses Python for its computation, right? Apart from this, Python is used for computer vision, right? For color detection, face detection, and for object detection, right? Python is preferred, right? And even for data analysis, right? And even I said in that here in this DevOps environment, writing many automation script, Python is the best scripting language with vast varieties of libraries. So here for just decreasing the time taken, right, in the DevOps life cycle, right? Yes, Python plays a vital role here, and for data analysis and for desktop applications, single user applications, console applications, right? Yes, Python is preferred, right? Yes. In this way, we have got many applications, right, where Python is mostly preferred today, right? The usage of Python has increased a lot. We talk in 2010, frankly speaking, right? 2010, like Java was mostly used in the industry with 43% usage, right? And at the same in 2010, most of doesn't have idea about that there is a programming language like Python. Only 3% used. But after 10 years, right? 2020, the usage of Java, right? Where Python is preferred. 19%. I'll just show you some graphs by opening this Google. Within the Google itself, I'll show you some graphs, which programming language is mostly used in today's market, and the percentage use of, and which is the #1 ranked programming language. So, right, Python is 31% used. The usage of Python has increased. Right, today is widely used. And who are using Python? Who are using Python today? And the topmost applications, right? Topmost application built using Python, right? Topmost applications built using Python. First, I can say like Google is one of the best example for Python web application, right? Google using Python for its web search system, YouTube using Python for its video sharing service, Yahoo using Python, right? Instagram built by using Python, right? The prime reason for Instagram to choose for Python is Python practicality, multi-programming features, right? Hybrid. And today, like even NASA is using Python for its research and development activities because they can use Python features accordingly, right? Hybrid features. And Uber is using Python. Uber pricing algorithm implemented using Python, right? Yes. And some other application, if you heard about this, like Quora, Reddit, Pinterest, these are developed using Python. And the famous OTT platform Netflix using Python for its security automation and for subscription related things, right? Yes. And MMOG, massively multiplayer online games, right? And Maya, a powerful 3D animation which uses Python script. And for like BitTorrent using Python, right? One second. Netflix, MMOG, right? Maya, a powerful 3D animation, right? BitTorrent using Python for its file sharing service. iRobot for military and commercial applications. And the companies like IBM, Seagate, Qualcomm, all this, they use Python for hardware testing purpose, right? Yes. So these are, in this way, many other, right, applications using Python, right? And reasons, right? You may ask reasons which makes Python suddenly super popular, right? See, most of us like the programming languages which is less complex with very less coding. So first thing, Python has got very less coding. So, and simple syntaxes, very less coding. Simple syntaxes. Simple syntaxes. The syntaxes of Python looks like normal English statements. Yes. So most of the programmers or developers are migrating towards Python environment, right? Because of its simple syntax, very less code. And interactive mode, as you interact with your friends through message, the same way you can interact with Python statement by statement, right? Just for every statement, it gives response, right? For example, within the command prompt, within this search panel, right? I'm typing CMD and going to the command prompt. Type Python here, type Python and say enter. Python 3.11.2. That is the version latest version of Python. Any valid Python statements you can type here. This 3 arrow symbol, you can see any valid Python statements you can type and you can interact statement by statement. I'm asking Python, what is 3 plus 5? It gives the response. What is 5 into 9? 32 into 64. It gives the response. X as 10, Y as 5, or Y as 5, right? What is X value? No need to give the data types also directly like X, Y. What is X plus Y value? X minus Y, X into Y, X by Y. We can easily interact, right? X into 2, 10 into 2, right? Yes. 20. X to the power of 2, 10 square. This is power symbol in Python. Single star multiplication, double star power symbol, 10 square. X equal to HELLO, right? Yes. X into 3 prints hello for 3 times. X into 5 prints hello for 5 times. In this way, the statements looks very simple, right? And you can easily interact with Python statement by statement. You say quit, you will come out of this interactive mode, right? Yes. So this is interactive mode. This kind of interaction you won't see in other programmings like Java or C, right? We need to write the entire Java dot C, right? And hybrid features like multi-programming features, right? Because of this multi-programming features, we can use Python accordingly. And wide varieties of applications we have discussed, right? Wide varieties of applications we can develop using Python, right? And many built-in libraries, right? Many built-in libraries, many built-in modules, 89,300 inbuilt modules and libraries, right? That is functions, classes, modules, all these are available. So, and these are the things, right, which makes Python super popular. Very less code, interactive mode, multi-programming, hybrid features, many built-in modules, varieties of applications we can develop, right? Yes. So just reasons which makes Python super popular. If you see the scope and job market of Python, right? If you see scope of Python, if you see the job market, I'll just come back what I'm going to say. Means how this course content trainings, right? So if you talk like just to say Python jobs, right? Lot of jobs for Python today, right? Yes, 1 second. 26,599 Python job vacancies in Hyderabad, right? In Hyderabad, Python jobs, 1,87,859 Python openings. Just I opened in Google, right? 4,000 plus Python jobs in LinkedIn. Indeed, right? Yes, 1,080 Python developer jobs available in Hyderabad. I'm talking about this Hyderabad, right? Yes. And if you see, Python has got a framework, Django jobs, you say, Django jobs. If you update with the Django, even you can search with this Django jobs. Django jobs also, many people who knows Django is very less. And the two who has got command in Django are very, very less, right? So if you are updating with Django, even you can have broad search. 34,309 Django job vacancies in April. 2,000 plus Python Django jobs. 2,000 Django jobs vacancies, Django, right? Yes, in this way, you've got job openings, right? And if you talk about this #1 ranked programming language today in the industry, right? Especially like popular coding language, like from the last 2-3 years, from even 2020 onwards, right? Yes. If you see, right, if you see Rust, Python, and TypeScript, Python, JavaScript, and Go rule the top 3 of the Stack's most wanted list. For example, observe this. Top 10 programming languages, right? Python stands first, next to JavaScript, Java, all this, right? Yes. Top 10 programmings. And if you talk like the usage of Python, right? Python is mostly preferred, right? Next comes Java, JavaScript, right? Observe this. Most popular programming languages used by top 25 unicorns, right? Python, Java, JavaScript. See this? Python remains most popular programming language. Python usage is more, right? And if you see the usage of Python in the industry, right? See the big circle, 31% used Python, Java 19%, C++ 9%, C 6%, various other programmings, right? Yes, used in this market. And ranking by average salary, Python stands first. And ranking by job openings, Python, right? Job openings also, Python has got more job openings. So, right. And coming to this, right, course content. So it's a in brief, in depth that we'll be learning about this Python course. It's not like a 45 hours or 50 hours course, right? We'll have 72 only for Python. We'll be spending nearly 80 hours, right? 80 hours of Python for Python core and advanced, right? 80 hours we'll be spending. Uh, 1 second. First to go through this course content, I'll come back. So if you see, nearly we have got 30 modules we'll be discussing only in Python, apart from the full stack, right? Yes. Python basics. Why Python? What is Python? Versions, installation, flavors. Python operations, right? That modes of executions, Python editors and IDEs, Python data types, constants, variables, input, outputs, type conversions, comments, escape sequences, strings, right? And operators in Python, different types. And this is important, IDEs, whatever environment you are using, right? Like in data science or in big data or whatever environment. You work with different IDEs, integrated development environment, right? So I'm going to show you on different IDEs. I'll be showing you step by step how to download, how to install, how to run the code, right? On different IDEs, not on 1 or 2 IDEs as others do, right? I'll be showing you on nearly 5 to 6 IDEs, right? Like PyCharm, Jupyter, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, right? All this Anaconda distribution, right? All this Jupyter, Spider, all these IDs. Flow control statements. If we come to the basic Python, looping statements, break statement, continue, pass statements, string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters, right? Yes. Collections in Python, right? Collections, list, tuple, sets, dictionaries, functions, methods, nested collections, right? Yes. And Python lists, list indexing, list slicing, list functions, list methods, list addresses, nested lists, list modifications, tuples, sets, dictionaries in Python, functions, different categories, different argument types, default, non-default, keyword, non-keyword, arbitrary arguments, different types of functions, lambda functions, reduce function, filter function, map function, zip function, right? All these different functions. Modules in Python. What is a module? How to import, different ways of importing, renaming, reloading, right? How to fix. Yes. Packages in Python, introduction to packages, defining sub packages, import for this, errors and exceptions, different types of errors, exceptions, exception handling, file handling, reading, writing data and appending, right? Object-oriented programming in brief, class, object, static, non-static, constructor, destructor, garbage collector, right? Abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, method overriding, all this, right? Regular expressions for extracting required data from the given data, on right? Database connectivity. I'll show you the installation of one database like MySQL, how to perform different SQL operations, and through Python, how we can perform creating different SQL operations, transaction management, that is database errors, right? All this Python data and time. So I will be discussing different models to different environments. Some models related to database, some models related to data science, some related to big data, some related to date time, some related to operating system, some related to graphics, some related to regular expressions, and how to create our own modules, right? With this, you will get a great command, right? Operating system module, right? Various OS related things. Advanced concepts like iterators, generators, decorators, web scraping, working with CSV, XML, JSON files, debugging in Python, graphical GUI programming, TK Inter, right? And how to work with Excel workbook, reading, writing data into Excel, and data analytics models like Pandas, NumPy, right? Matplotlib with many working examples. And also like today, Python mostly used for data science, introduction to data science, statistical analysis, Python Pandas module in brief for Pandas data frames from series list, CSV from databases, functionalities, time delta, total Pandas module in brief, NumPy, numerical Python in brief, right? 2D, 3D, all this, right? and Python, matplotlib, plotting, visualization, generating different types of graphs like okay, bar graph, normal graph, pie graph, histogram, scatter plot, stack plots, all this, right? So these 30 topics in brief, right? We'll be spending nearly 80 hours, right? 80 sessions on this. And apart from this, people who go for Django, that is what full stack Python, right? If you want along with Python, total full stack web development, right? So for that, we will go with the Django framework. In that introduction to Django, history, features, characteristics, web frameworks, web servers, installation of Django project architecture, different .py files, URL settings, admin models, views, Django application creations, right? Django views, Django templates, admin interface, models, databases, advanced concepts, ORM, faker module rendering, right? And along with that, you need to have the knowledge about web development, UI technologies, HTML in brief, CSS, Bootstrap, and JavaScript in brief, and also MySQL will be discussed, right? Yes. So, yes. So I said, so Python, you'll be learning Python, where in this Python core advanced application oriented modules will be learning, where nearly we'll be spending 80 hours on this, 70 to 80 hours on this. Apart from this, people who wants to go for full stack Python, right? Yes. Web development technologies, web technologies, right? Yes. Like HTML, in brief, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, all this will be discussed before we go with the Django framework of Python. Django framework. Django framework, nearly I'll be showing you 20 applications creation hands-on, right? 20 applications creation, step by step you'll be doing. If you get any errors, you'll be sharing the screen. Share screen option will be available in the Zoom. So yes, apart from this, a project and many different APIs, right? So this 80 hours and this 60 hours, 140 hours, right? Totally like 4.5 months. So for only Python, right? 2 to 2.5 months. And for this all everything 2 months, 4 to 4.5 months totally. You'll be learning all this Python, web technologies, Django projects, CSS, HTML, all this. And if you want, if you doesn't want to spend 4 hours, 4 months of time, even you can go parallelly. Python core, Python basic, you'll be learning Python core, all this. During this Python core, you'll be learning this web technologies, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, parallelly you'll be going, right? Right. And also Django introduction, all this you can go parallelly, where you can complete in 2.5 months if you go parallelly both, right? If you are able, weekend batches are there, weekday batches are there, right? Any of the batch. Once you get enrolled in the full stack, right, you can attend any of my Python or Django batches, right? Yes. And the fees, it's an offer batch, right? It's an offer batch, where the fees 5K only for Python. It is only 5,000 for Python, and for this entire thing, web technology for full stack plus apart from Python, 7,000, 7K means 5K plus 7K, 12K. But if you take as a package, totally in a single short payment, it only 10K, right? And for all this full stack Python, which includes Python, core advanced application oriented modules, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, Django, and project. The total full stack, it is 10K, only Python, it is 5K. Later, if you go Django separately, you need to pay 7K for it. Only Python 5, right? So there is what introduction to this Django, right? And what are the offerings from my side? Like you'll be getting the session video, right? Every session by session, the video you'll be getting, even due to some ill health or due to some office timings, if you're unable to attend the session, you can go to the recording of that stay, and you can attend the next session for a better understanding, right? So daily basis, you'll be getting the video, right, to your Google Drive, and clear notes, soft copy of the notes topic wise you'll be getting. right? Assignments task, just you need to build your own code so that for that assignments task will be provided topic wise, so that you need to write your own code. Getting the output is not the criteria. You need to build your own code, right, to have command on this Python. Fine. Yes, if you have got any queries on this, so everyone, you can attend the session tomorrow, same time, 9 p.m. using the same link to see more on this Python, right? Yes, today just I was giving introductory part. So if you got any queries, you can just go with your queries, right? The sessions like live sessions, where at any point of time you can unmute yourself, right? I'll be keeping all of you in, just you can unmute yourself and you can ask queries at any part of the session during the sessions, right? And even you can type your queries in the chat panel. So interactive live sessions. So whatever I want, that kind of interaction, what I'm expecting from you, it's not me speaking and going off for 1 hour, right? Both the sides interaction, right? For whatever statement I type, you will be responding, right, with the expected results or outputs. So like bringing some kind of pre-written notes, everything I'll be typing and showing you all these program codes step by step, right? Yes, that's why it's not 45 hours course, it's a 80 hours course, right? Python. And total full stack it is for 140 hours, right? Yes. Fine. So if you got queries, you can just go with your queries.
What will be the schedule of the classes, like for the weekdays and weekend classes?
It will be from Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Same timing at 9 p.m. IST timing. The same timing it will be Monday to Friday first. But later, if I'm running out of time or out of days, I'll be taking Saturdays also, right? I'll be pre-intimating later, right? So it will be from Monday to Friday.
And what will be for weekend classes, let's say for professional working professionals?
So, for example, UI technologies, Django batches will be there on the weekends, right? If anybody wants to attend parallelly, right? Weekdays, Monday to Friday with Python. In weekends, if you want to go with that is web development and Django, right? You can attend those classes also parallelly, so that duration of your course will decrease, right? Means 2 hours, 2 hours and 2.5 hours on Saturday and 2.5 hours on Sunday. Totally 5 hours you'll be getting on Saturday and Sunday, right? For those weekend batches of mostly weekend batches will be on Django, right? Python only weekday batches are available.
Sir,
Right. So and some of them will be having, right? So because of their job timings, shift timings, during this time, if their job shifts, any shifting is happening, right? You can attend any of my Python batch, my morning batch, early morning batches, or this evening batches, right? Just intimating, right? And just you can attend. Once you are enrolled with this Python course, you can attend any of my batch. Even for revision purpose, if you want to re-attend, right? That also you can do, right?
so right now I'm working in a different platform. So now I'm transferring to Python. So they will consider me as a fresher. They will consider me as the experienced person. And how they will give the package?
Say 1 second. So whatever knowledge I'm providing, right? So 1 second, I'll show you. So in web development or in applications creations, right? In this full stack, right? I'll show you the previous batches. See how many applications I'll make the students to develop. Be watching the sessions, they'll be doing along with me. If you see batches like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this way, if you take any batch, right, you'll be developing. It means with this many applications creations, you'll get full command, I'm saying, right? So these are all the projects. If you take any batch, so you'll be developing many applications. Even if you talk about these notes also, clear notes step by step I'll be providing, right? So in Python, it is in Django project, right? And how to create an application, right? And settings.py and URLs, how to specify, how to define a view function, Step 7, how to migrate, how to run the server. Step 8. Step 9 is giving request. In this way, step by step, I'll be discussing. I'll be forwarding the notes and the video, right, for further references. Nice. So a lot of applications will be developed during the course, web development, right? Yes. So people from zero programming or non-programming, right? Tomorrow session you attend once, right? I'll just show you the Python coding snippets as compared with other programmings. It looks very simple. Only thing is regular practice, and you need to work your own codes. You need to keep on experimenting, right? All the functionalities, all the topics you need to explore. Okay. So at least you need to spend 1 hour or 2 hours of time daily, 1 hour of time, especially on the practical part. It's nothing theoretical, everything practical, and learn the subject practically. Don't expect any theory from it. So step by step, line by line, I'll be explaining, right? Yes, with comments, right? Yes.
Just one question, like when will the actual batch start?
So today is the introductory session, right? Tomorrow also just I'll be briefing you about this Python coding snippets. From day after tomorrow onwards, I'll be going with the first session, right? Like Python versions, installations, execution modes, right? Installation of Python, execution modes, and next from day after tomorrow onwards, it will be continued, right? Step. Tomorrow will be the session 1. Day after tomorrow will be the session 2. Tomorrow it's not like any replication or duplication of today's session. It will be continued from where we have stopped, right? Just I'll give some 5-10 minutes of review what we have discussed, and just we'll go with the right. So session, the topics will start from tomorrow, means from day after tomorrow. Practical part will be discussing, right? Step by step. Totally, I said for only Python it will be 80 hours. Right.
One more thing.
Yes. And people may ask, even for Python, you may ask, right, 80 hours, if it is too long. For that also, I can give you some like a fast track batch if you want to attend multiple batches, if you want to complete. If there is some people who are moving to MS, other things. So if you want to complete within 1 month of time, like Python core and advanced going parallelly, right? I'll just intimate them. Right.
Sure,
So one
just
more request is there.
Yes.
So I work as a DevOps engineer and I want to learn Python as a DevOps point of view. So I request you if you can add few more modules related to system admins like Boto3 and sub process. It will help me in my job.
So yes, I'll look into it, but some modules like sys module, OS module, these things I'll be discussing, right? Scripting level, right? How to write the scripts. And one thing, people from different environments will be learning Python, right? Big data environment, data science environment, DevOps environment, many GUI testing, networking in this way. So I'll just say that how you can explore the domain specific modules. Means how to explore a module, how to get help on a module, how can we explore any modules, for example domain specific modules, how can we get help, and how can we dig into one by one built-in functionalities. I'll be showing you in this course, right? So that tomorrow you can just explore that your domain specific modules, networking related modules, or testing related modules, database related, data science related modules, right? So for that you need to have the knowledge on Python, and this how to use Python, how to import them, how to use them, how to get the help on each one by one functionality of it, right? In tomorrow's session, just I'll be giving some how we can get the help of a particular module of any domain, right? So that I said, right, I'll be discussing some models related to different. So as part of you, I'll be discussing some scripting level. Sys module is there, OS module is there. If time means, I'll discuss. If we have got time, I'll be also discussing that, right? Yes.
Okay, yeah, sure. Thank you. Sir.
Fine.
so on the payment side, like by when do we need to make payment?
So here you can morning sessions, is any morning session available, right? Jagruti. Just I'll come back to your query. So you can see right in the chart panel, some message given by the online team. DURGASOFT online team. For the payment process for only Python, it is 5,000. If you want full stack, it is 10,000. Their contact details, the payment process procedure. If you're done with the payment, you need to share your screenshot of your payment to this DURGASOFT online training. You can attend my session tomorrow, day after tomorrow also to see more on this, right? Yes. So, yes. Any other queries, right? Yes.
New to the programming, I don't know much any idea about the programming. How could I go ahead with this course?
So once you attend tomorrow session will be my total discussion will be on non-programming or zero programming. People from non-programming or zero programming, right? So whether you got some 20 years of knowledge on Java or zero knowledge on Java or C programming, right? Everyone, right? So it's a Python. The syntaxes are a little different as compared with other programming. Every syntax will be discussing from the scratch ground level to the advanced level. So the only thing is you need to keep the syntaxes in mind. You need to just do the practical and explore it. People from programming or non-programming, everyone can cope up with the things. So if you have got any queries, then and there you can ask, no need of hesitating, right? A WhatsApp group will be created for all these people who got enrolled for technical discussions. You can make as groups, you can discuss among yourself. I'll be, if you got any error during your practice, right? You can take the screenshot of it. You can place it in the WhatsApp, the image or pic of it. So everybody will be answering, right? And I'll be giving that answers for those. If you're getting any errors, you will need to work with as many examples for better command in this. It's a language, just like English, right? Yes, I'll be even people who go for certifications, programs, other things also, right? Yes, I'll just say what are the topics and what are the syllabi, how your performance will be measured. I'll be taking some separate sessions on it, right? Fine. So not a worry, people who are from non-programming or zero programming. Tomorrow, just I'll show you some sample snippets of Python, how the coding looks. Only thing is regularity to the sessions, regular practice. So if you are people from non-programming, only thing is every day you do the practicals that day itself. Next session will be very simple and easier, right? And I want the sessions like interactive sessions, right? I need to see your response. The next session, right? Yes. So every day one new functionality will be learning. The new functionality every day, that day itself, you need to explore it. I'll be providing multiple examples. More than 300 plus code examples will be discussing. And in web development, 20 plus applications creations where you will build a lot of confidence in this, right? Yes. Fine.
Small doubt
Yes.
regarding this whole session.
Yes.
Yeah, in this program whole framework, if I took Django and Python Advanced and Core, so is there any way to explaining fast APIs and Flask framework, sir?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'll be doing that.
Yeah, I am not seeing in this curriculum, so that's why.
So no, not like that. The Django is the most framework. See, the Django framework, Flask framework, Pyramid framework, Bottle framework, TurboGet framework. So many frameworks of Python are there. Among all these, Django is the most famous framework. With rapid speed, you can develop a web application. That's why more concentration, more I'll be discussing on this Django framework. Your knowledge on Flask, I'll be providing knowledge on Flask, how to work on that Flask also, but coding remains the same.
Yep, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I am from database background. So, how difficulties I have to face while learning Python?
You're from
Database background, SQL,
Data-
PL, SQL.
database background. Yes, database background also, right? So yes, not you have got some background, right? At least you have got some background, database, other things. It will be very. It's not like you're not from non-technical.
I am not. Yeah, I am from technical. I am from computer science background.
Yes, then it's very simple, right? I'm saying people for zero programming also, you can be a programmer, right? With great command in Python. They look statements, looks like normal English statements, I'm saying. I'll show you some examples even to the code, right? So, and even as part of the course, we'll be discussing like MVT architecture will be discussing in this web development. M means models, nothing but database. views. See, totally our interaction will be within the database, that is the web page, and in the middle Python will be there, and the web page will and database. How the interaction between the database, web page, and Python, how it is going to bring the data, and how it is going to push the data into the database, and how it is going to pull the data from database, how it is going to interact, many applications on it. So people who doesn't have knowledge on database also, I said we'll be having sessions on this database. I'll be showing the installation of one database. And before I go with the Python database connection, I'll also show with basic SQL operations, right? During core Python, can we make?
Okay, sir.
So yes,
Okay. Hi, sir. So basically, what will be the duration of this class? Like 9 to 10, 1 hour.
9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, right? 1 hour daily.
And the duration of this course, like if we take the Django and the UI technologies and along with this Python.
So it will be like 4 months, right? 2 months, two or 2.5 months. Totally 4 months it will be. But if you want to go parallelly, right? Python core and advanced in the weekdays and weekends, if you're going for Django or this UI technologies, your duration will decrease. People who are unable to just spend that much of 4 months of time, people can need to go with weekdays and weekends. Means daily 1 hour in the weekdays and 2 hours in the weekends.
Okay. But like if you are saying so, basically 80 hours Python will cover, right? That means 20 hours in a month.
Yes.
Around 20, 24.
So I'll be taking some weekend batches whenever I doesn't have means whenever batch is completed. Just I'll be pre-intimating that I'll be taking some 2-hour sessions on Saturdays like that. So you'll be having some extra sessions after your Python core completes.
Okay. So that's how we.
Why? Because when we want to spend more number of working examples, you need to spend some more time, right? So I'll be pre-intimating some extra sessions on Saturdays, sometimes on Sundays, right? I'll be pre-intimating when everyone is okay with the timing, right?
Okay. So that means Python, Django, and this UI and along with MySQL will complete in 4 months, right?
Totally 140 hours.
Oh, okay, 140 hours, and we'll cover in 4 months.
4.5 months, right? Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks.
Sir, after completing this Python course, we have a real-time project also, na? Including this Python course.
Yes, I have given in this, right? Yes.
Okay.
It is web technologies, Django, and apart from this 20 applications I'm creating, one project will be discussed. Yes. Fine.
It is useful. It is useful to explain about after switching this job.
Yes, see here, a typical 4+ years experienced person, real-time experienced person, how much experience he has, that much of experience I'm going to provide you, right? Because it's not like it's not a single like 45 hours course, 2 months course, right? We'll be discussing, right? With more number of hours. And also I showed you that we'll be discussing many applications creations. First 1-2 applications will be something new, but later the steps will be same, right? In most of the applications creations.
Yeah.
Having some morning session, Jagriti J, right? Yes. So it says for Google Pay, there is one number given, right? Separate number is given. You can see in the chart, right? Google Pay 797 ending with 797, right? Don't forget to send your. Yes, multi-threading is part. Just before I got multi-threading session, I was discussing about multi-threading in the previous session, right? Multi-threading in Python. Just now, someone asking a query, right? In the previous session, I was just discussing multi-threading in Python, right? Multi-threading is included. Also, some many topics which are not in the syllabus, latest topics I'll be discussing apart from that, right? Yes. And also apart from this, I'll also handle data analytics, right? Big data, Hadoop and Spark, PySpark, right? So weekend batches are there in the next coming Saturday also at 2:30 p.m. There is a big data analytics batch, right? Hadoop and PySpark, data engineering, right? Yes, ending with, yes, you can see the chart panel for the payment process and the procedures. You can see ending with 797, right, for Google Pay, and other different details are given, right? Yes. So, yes. So if I'm done with your queries, if there are no other queries, then I'll sign off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time at 9 p.m. to see more discussion on this, right? Yes. Thank you all for your, yes,
If you can take.
pardon?
So how much percent like data science you are covering in this project, sir?
So the
Class.
main modules of data science are covered, right? Like matplotlib, plottings and visualizations, matplotlib model. If you see the course content in brief, in depth, it will be all like all different types of graphs, visualization. And one more important module, pandas module, and one more important module for use for data, like numerical Python, NumPy module, right? So that is main modules of data science are covered, and also some introduction to this data science. Everything is covered, right? Yes.
What about machine learning, sir? We are not.
No. Machine learning, it's not. Already our duration is huge, right?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes. Fine. So if I'm done with your queries, then I will sign off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time, 9 p.m., right? Same link. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.